Once O.Henrys wrote a story about an old ivy leaf that brought a deadly diseased young girl to live. This story begins in the old Greenwich village, the place where the old people came prowling, hunting for north windows, Dutch attics, and low rents. At the top of the squad, two young painters, Hugh and Jones, had their own studio. In November, a strange and deadly disease called pneumonia stalked around the colony of artists. Jones was diseased also. Day by day, she got worse and worse. Doctor said that she has only one chance in 10. She mustn't have any thoughts about her funerals, and if she will ask one question about the new winter styles in cloak sleeves, for sure she'll have one chance in 5 instead of 1 in 10. One day she was sketching and she heard low sounds several times repeated. Jonesy was looking out the window and counting backwards. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, almost in a whisper. 6. We are falling faster now, she said. There are only 5 left. So look out the window. What was there to count? Leaves on the ivy vine, answered Jonesy. When the last one falls, I must go too. Oh, I never heard of such a nonsense. What have old ivy leaves to do if you're getting better, complained Hugh. Don't be a goosey. I want to see the last one fall, said Jonesy. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of thinking. Hugh told Mr. Behrman of Jones's fancy. Old Behrman was the painter who lived on the ground floor beneath them. He was a failure in art. He had been always about to paint a masterpiece, but had never yet begun it. Old Behrman was wondered what foolishness to die because leaves drop off from a vine. He had not ever heard of such a thing. Next morning, Hugh woke up and found Jonesy with dull and wide-open eyes staring out the window. After beating rain and gusts of wind, the one ivy leaf still stood against the wall. Jonesy said, "It's the last one. I thought it would surely fall during the night, but it will fall today, and I shall die at the same time." But they were away, and even through the twilight, they could see the one long ivy leaf clinging to its stem against the wall. Jonesy lay for a long time looking at it, and then she called to Hugh. "I was a bad girl," she said. "Something had made this last ivy leaf to stay there to show me how weak I was. It's a sin to want to die." After an hour later, she said, "Dear Hugh, someday I hope to paint a Bay of Naples." The next day, Jonesy got better and better. But Judy came to her bed and said, "I have something to tell you, dear. Old Behrman died in the hospital this morning of pneumonia. He was ill only 2 days. The doorkeeper found him in his room, helpless with pain. His shoes and clothes were wet through and icy cold. We found also a lantern still lighted, a ladder, some brushes and a palette with green and yellow colors mixed on it. And now dear looked out the window at the last ivy leaf on the wall. Didn't you wonder why it never moved when the wind blew? Darling, it's Berman's masterpiece. He painted it there the night that the last leaf fell.